Gamers all around the universe. We're out here and I'm gonna just spoil the tournament because the Twitch chat is gonna spoil it for you over there in that corner over there. So I have won the first major S tier tournament in 2025. Just the first one. We need to analyze Cutie Patootie versus Vortix, which we're gonna do now. Then we're gonna do me versus Anatan, and then the grand finals, Marine Lord versus me. So Vortix and I played in the lower bracket semifinals. Vortix defeated Papipo 3-0 and I beat Louis 3-0. Now, what I actually revealed after the interview that I did when I beat Louis is Vortix and I actually played a lot. He was my main practice partner. So I knew this series might be a little bit weird, a little bit interesting. You know, you kind of know what the player wants. You kind of know which maps he wants to play. You kind of know which civs he wants to play. So I did some stuff against him that I don't think he necessarily maybe expected. Basically, he picked a lot of the water maps. So I feel like maybe he wasn't comfortable playing on the Pro Scout maps, and I was. So what I did is I did something that I never did against him. I actually second picked Japanese, and I vetoed Order of the Dragon, because in practice against him I never picked Order of the Dragon, I think. So I actually vetoed it. So with this draft, he actually had no good civs for Lakeside and Four Lakes, because I have Japanese and OTD, which are the best civs. So I feel like in the draft, I kind of cooked him up, and I already had a pretty good advantage, so I felt pretty good. I felt pretty good going into this series already, because I feel like I got the better end of that, and I feel like maybe I surprised him a little bit. And I've been wanting to veto Japanese or Order of the Dragon for a while because of the water maps and how good they are, but I didn't want to veto it too early, and same with French, because I thought those civs were very important. Like OTD and Japanese are very important in the drafts, and French is civilization. I talked about it in my tier list, but French is a civilization that's actually, in my opinion, S tier civ, but no one was picking it early. So what I did in the tournament, I haven't put like any importance onto French, and as I kept practicing with Vortix, we kind of both realized like, yeah, French kind of beats a lot of the civs right now, and we kind of both knew that, which is also why you see, I think this was maybe the first French veto in the whole tournament for both players, because we both knew how good French is. And maybe it was like weird for a lot of people, or maybe it surprised a lot of people, but yeah, French is really good. And like I said, in our practice, French won almost like every game we played. And then he vetoed Delhi because he specifically mentioned that he, like, when he plays against other players, he beats their Delhi, but he loses against mine. So he did not want to face that, which I was personally fine with. If English sucks so hard and you ban French first, why pick English? Because you don't ban the civs you don't pick the civs you ban, Sassy. Here, I'll give you guys some drafting tips. What's it called? If you veto a civ and then pick it, you actually kind of waste your ban in a way. But if you veto a civ, 2 civs, and then you pick a third civ, you have essentially vetoed 3 civs. Okay? So that's why when you ban a civ, you don't pick it right after. It doesn't make any sense. What you're doing is you're extending the draft and you're diluting what civs the opponent can play, and yourself, but if you can play all the civs, that's fine. Like, realistically, in a tournament setting, I am fine playing 15 civs right now. Like, the only civ I just don't play them at all is Ottoman. I just think it's a very bad civ. Abbasid in English, I haven't played much, but I can play them. But Ottoman, I just don't play at all. So, for me, if we dilute the civ pool, as I like to call it, to like all the civs, I'm fine with that. Okay, so anyway, this game, Delhi versus Malian, and this is one of the interesting things that I Did not know until I played against Marine Lord in the winner's bracket, and I feel like Malian is pretty good now into Delhi. I still don't know who wins. I'm not gonna say that Mali counters Delhi or Delhi counters Mali, but this used to be a free win for Delhi. Like, literally, you just make units and you win. That's how easy it was. Now it's in my opinion, it's an even matchup, which is really funny. It's because of Pro Scouts. It's a very, very even matchup. And Vortix is very good with Delhi as well. So, yeah. So I go Pro Scouts, he goes Pro Scouts, but obviously my Pro Scouts are first. So he focused heavily on my gold, which I was a bit surprised that he didn't try to deny Pro Scouting more. But at the same time, if he tries to deny Pro Scouting, if I have Gazis, Donzos everywhere running, he might start losing units and so on. So at this moment, whenever the Delhi starts capturing, you can push one Sacred Site with Donzos, and you can stop the other two with your scouts. You can just use your scouts, right? So, I think I'm doing that. I don't know if I changed my mind or what happened. No, I did that, yeah. So, effectively, instead of him getting 3 free captures, you try to deny them. So, I denied this one, which is already good. This one I was too late for, so I just tried to decap it. But so far, like, the game's going pretty good for me. Like, I got a full deer pack, and now I'm pro scouting this one. So, you know, getting the second gold pit, getting javelin throwers, and it's just looking like a very, very standard game, in my opinion. So right now we start fighting a little bit, and I definitely felt the nerves in this game. I think out of all the games that I've played for the rest of the tournament, this one I felt the most nerves, and you'll see it later. Like, I played it pretty bad. This was huge, though. So I knew his army was in the middle, right? I knew it was somewhere towards the middle. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna send it. So I go for his deer pack. This is at the top level. I'm not gonna say auto loss, but if you take the opponent's deer and you're both going for Pro Scouts, it's like 80% over. Because they're going to run out of food so much faster than you, they're not gonna be able to keep up with production. So I was like, oh shit, I'm actually getting it. And then he intercepted me. So I try to run away, I run into archers. And then I drop off these, but actually later I pick these up and I bring them home. So I did take 5 deer, which was pretty big deal. He's still spamming units. I'm making some cows. You kind of slowly want to start, yeah, there it is. You kind of slowly want to start cow booming. Like, you don't need to cow boom super fast with Mali anymore. You can just kind of slowly do it, you know, keep making units. As you can see, I'm fully producing. And I'm making cows right now. So, that's kind of how you want to do it. Meanwhile, I kept the Sacred Site decapped for like whole game pretty much. So, Sacred Site winner was not an option, which was really nice. The Pro Scouts here are making it. He actually runs into my goal, but he finds my scout, which was kind of funny. But I managed to get away. I killed a few Gazis here. Oh, 1 Gazi? 2? 1? Not sure. But yeah, I take those. He captures the Sacred Sites, and right now it's like, so this is like the scary part because for Mali, in my opinion. Like this, like 3 Sacred Sites is very scary, and the reason for that is, if he has 3 Sacred Sites, he can put all his workers on food. Like, he can literally put 30 on food right now and age up like this because he's getting gold from Sacred Sites. So if there's no Sacred Sites at the top level, the Delhi will not age up, okay? The Delhi has to fight until they get Sacred Sites. So when the Delhi gets Sacred Sites, until this point everything is fine. Now, if I don't fight, he can age up and then kill me with upgrades. So it's a very tricky situation. That's why you need to try keep Sacred Sites decapped. Now, this is an interesting one. So, Vortix messed up. Like I said, we both played, in my opinion, pretty bad this game. But I saw this with my scout. like my scout was here, I forgot to mention it, and I saw this. And I was like, I had a scout on patrol, and I was like, I'm just gonna not interrupt him because he clearly doesn't see it. So he either misclicked or forgot to make a mill, I don't know. But I was like, I'm just not gonna interrupt them at all, and I'm gonna let them long distance instead. So I'm still trying to decap. Now this is the moment, the reason I'm pushing out is because of the thing I said. If he's aging up and then upgrades all this, I'm dead. So what I'm trying to do is to get a feel, like, is he making units? Is he not making units? What's happening? And basically, I get completely caught off guard here. Like, I even move my sofas to raid, right? So I did not want to fight. You can see I'm moving to this side. And I can't remember if I didn't have my hotkey. Yeah, look at this. Like, I'm just move commanding, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I move commanded for like a second too far, and I was like, oh, God. This is terrible. Like, now I have to fight. At the same time, I just started raiding the villagers, and I think I killed 3. But then he puts them to go back to work, and they just go back here, and I kill the rest of them, I think. So now I get caught here, basically. And I have way less units, as you can see. So I was like, oh, fuck me. I was like, not like this, dude. Not like this. So he's microing really well. I am like pegging with micro super bad. I'm like misclicking, I'm steering, I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna fucking throw this, really. So here's where I finally get a grasp of my units, and I start microing a little bit better. He dives under the TC. Now the good thing is I didn't actually lose a lot of workers, which was very important, and my cow boom was, you know, 11 cows, it's not bad. So the TC here is farming the archers pretty well. And now, because he has no more Ghazis, I'm just trying to produce sofas because they're going to be the tinkiest thing I can make. So even though this looks terrible for me, I'm actually still ahead, or we're even, right? Because I have 11 cows, he has 2 sacred sites. So the game is... I mean, I would personally favor my position because I also have pit mines. And I only lost 6 workers, which I say only lost. I mean, I could have lost the game. So 6 workers, I'll take it. I get a villager here, and now he comes back here. And I get some of those as well. So I was like, okay, we're chilling. Good stuff. He comes in here as I'm trying to wall with just archers, Chad. So the funny thing is, I could have pushed these archers with these units, but I was like, okay, he probably has Ghazis here too, so I didn't want to move out too far. But I guess he had nothing. Or, yeah, he just had archers. So now he's aging up, but this is fine for me, okay? Like, at this point, this is completely fine for me, and I felt like, okay, that's good. Because that means he's not all-in-ing, because I was scared I'm gonna die to a follow-up attack. And because we traded, he doesn't have any units to upgrade, right? Like, he has 23 archers and 5 Ghazis. So, like, earlier he had, like, 40 or something, right? So I was like, okay, we're chilling. Not a big deal. I'm doing some raiding here. Attacking wherever I can. Just some light harassment. No, this guy missed. That's unfortunate. Alright, now I go for the age up. And yeah, I felt pretty good. Like I said, I knew I killed more workers than he killed mine. I know he has relics and sacred sites, but I have full cow boom, which is a lot of food. So I was just like, I just need to chill. I just need to make a good army comp, and then we can fight. So I was making still some javelins. Because I couldn't fully transition. I mean, I'm trying to fully transition to archers. I think I didn't have poison arrows. Yeah, no poison arrows. So I kind of wanted to go Sofa poison arrows with Musafaris.
Next time this happens is our anniversary. Shall we plan something special? I'm thinking at least candlelit dinner.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. So, So yeah, because I saw his unit comp was like, I mean, very common unit comp for for Delhi against Malin is like man-at-arm archer. He's also making knights. I mean, Vortix always makes the triple, like he always makes barracks archer range stable units. So I felt like Sofa Archer would be really good against that, because Sofas do what's it called? They do bonus damage against melee units, or infantry, sorry. And I don't think I even have the Sofa upgrade yet. No, so I was just making Musafaris, making a lot of archers. Like I said, just kind of balancing out my eco. I'm getting poison arrows. So at this point I felt pretty good. Sacred sides are decapped, like there's only one going, so that's pretty nice. Now I'm getting Sofa upgrades. Let's speed it up because we got 4 more games to go just in this series. And then I'm assuming, okay, so a lot of people were confused with this. But he probably thought he is very far behind, and like, because I played so much with Vortix, like, he knows I'm not gonna lose the game from this point. If he goes far, he has no food, by the way. There's 0 food. Okay, he's going on my berries, and I have a scout here seeing it. Like, Vortix and I played enough that he knows he's not gonna be 0 food, and while I still have berries a little bit, and while I have cow boom, and then I'm gonna lose from this position. Like, that's not gonna happen. So he probably tried to all in because he felt if he starts making farms, I'm just gonna push and kill him, which is probably what would have happened. So here he goes for the keep. This stone was actually so annoying, it like gets all my stuff stuck. But Mangonel comes out too. He comes in with Ghazis and Knights, but I pulled the Donzos back and they clean up that pretty quickly. The keep does not finish, and now the worker kills are getting worse. I think he pulls, I don't know, he pulls more workers from somewhere. The mango is doing work. Archers are farming. Yeah, he pulls like the rest of his workers, and the game is over. Now, the reason why, like, people might think like, oh, but if he transitioned to farms and made like a couple of keeps, he could have come back. I agree with that, like last year, but I think the players right now got a lot better at the game, and I also don't really like let my opponents boom or transition out of things. I just end the games very, very quickly, so it would not have worked. Like that was the best thing he could have done. Maybe he could have tried to go for Sacred Side victory, but that would need him to have a Sacred Site like on 6 minutes or something, because I kept decapping them, so that was also not an option. Now he's making trebs. I guess he's trying to like treb me down or something, but my economy is a lot better. He's got 0 food per minute, by the way, and he's just making trebs and hoping it works, but obviously it is not going to. So I got a keep here for a little gold. He didn't even see the units because I went all the way around. So I knew I was chilling. I knew he's super all in. So he pushes in here, and yeah, I mean, I have way more units. I didn't know how many units he actually had, because this was all like, you know, it kind of looks scary when there's a keep. You don't know if there's a mangonel here. You don't know how many units there are, but yeah. So that was game number 1. I saw, I think Myriad asked, is Farimba better or is Fulani better? Honestly, I haven't practiced Farimba, like, at all. So, I don't know how good it is. But I think Fulani overall is better. Like, Farimba is not like I'm gonna go Farimba this game. Farimba to me is like a situational thing. Like, if I have 40 javelins and my opponent is like full man-at-arm or full melee comp with archers, yeah, going Farimba there and getting the upgrade is pretty good because you got 40 javelins. But if you don't have javelins, going Farimba or Musafaris, going Farimba makes no sense to me, because the units are not that good. Okay, this was game 2, so I'm leading 1-0 right now. This was game number 2, and it is Roose versus Byzantine. Now, this is a matchup that I don't know who counters what or what counters who. I kind of thought that Roose counters Biz, then I thought Biz counters Roose, then I thought it was even, then I was like, Roose is better than Biz, so I still don't know, I'm gonna be honest. But basically, Byzantine can get a lot of units out, a lot of spearmen out pretty quickly. And they can block your deer, which Vortix played this game really well. Like, he was blocking the deer everywhere. I couldn't get fucking deer at all. Oh, this would have been so big if this got that. Like, he was everywhere. Like, you'll see now, but like, every time I go somewhere, I think I got these first 3 or 2 deer. And then the rest, I just couldn't get. Like, look, he's here. Yeah, I drop off, I run. Look, the more of them are coming. And he's just blocking me everywhere I go. Which was, like, very annoying. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make some archers to try counteract that. I couldn't get deer there either. So even though I have, well, 4 scouts now, I just can't get anything. Like, so far I got 2 deer, and that's it. There was a lot of discussion about sheep, by the way, the amount of sheep that I got in all these games. And there's a very simple explanation for all of it, which I think people completely missed. Like, this game, I got more sheep than him. I'm playing Roose. Like, I have 3 fucking scouts, so obviously I'm gonna get more sheep. And Baldland, especially with multiple scouts, is very good, because there's so many places where there's just a lot of sheep. So this game, I got more sheep than him, but that's kind of expected. Like, if it was Dry Arabia, it would probably be like 13-7 or 12-8 or 14-6, something like that. But on Baldland, you can get some severe differences. So yeah, here I'm trying to get some pro scouting done. He pushes me back. Again, I have to run, so I run here. There's another Limited A, there's Limited A there, there's Limited A there, there's Limited A there. He's chasing my army around. I'm trying to sneak in, but look, he just like, he knows. He didn't see these scouts, but he knows I'm gonna swoop around. I managed to kill the Limited A here and take a deer, but I have like no scouts there. I have 2 scouts, so yeah, it was a struggle. Like, I lost a lot of scouts this game. I just couldn't get any pro scouting done. This was pretty big. See, this is a thing that old Cutie Patootie would never do. Like, I would never do these kinds of run-bys, but actually Vortix does these quite a lot in practice. And this one was actually, like, so annoying. Like, 2 worker killed. Look at this. Idle time on the barracks, idle time on the gold, with just this little run-by right here. Look, idle time here. Look how much damage that's doing. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. I kill another worker there. And that's just 5 archers. I killed 3 workers and caused massive amounts of idle time. So I felt really good about that. Because, like, I traded pretty well there, right? So the pro scouting, I did get few more. I got 4 deer from here. The rest, I didn't get anything. Like, he completely denied me. So I went with the Abbey. Now, Abbey can be good sometimes. The reason I went Abbey this game is because his army was moving here. So I didn't want to make high trade house and then end up, you know, like, not be able to construct it or get it cancelled or something. So, yeah. But for this tournament, by the way, like I said, last year, I didn't practice at all. This year, like, I prepared. I practiced drafting, by the way. I probably did, I would probably do like about 20 practice drafts against each player that I played against. Like I would draft against myself, and I would draft based on what they were drafting in all their series beforehand. I had like number priority for each civ, how much I valued it, how much they valued it, and I tried to take the highest point civs first or ban them. So like, if I rated Roose high and my opponent rated it high, then I would first pick Roose. Does that make sense? So I practiced a lot of drafting. I practiced like, not just like, oh, this is gonna go perfect. I practiced a lot of what ifs. I practiced if like, okay, what if my opponent doesn't ban this? So like, I would go with the assumption that opponent is gonna ban Jushi and HRE. Okay, what if he doesn't do that? What's my play there? Am I picking it? Am I banning it? If he picks this, do I pick that? So I kind of had a clear plan for every series, what I want to do. And I didn't really get caught off guard in any of the drafts. Because I feel like, not because everything that I expected to happen necessarily, it's because I prepared for every situation. Like, I had a plan, what happens if my opponent gets to play HRE. I had a plan, what happens if my opponent plays Roose, if they play China, or whatever else. Why did he make Limitanei there? So so on this map, it's very common to go cavalry, and against javelins, it's very common to go cavalry. And I actually very rarely, I would say, play with men-at-arms. I prefer to play cavalry base styles with no matter what civ. I think infantry is just not that good. Like, it's good in certain situations, but it's not that good. But this game, because again, this is one of those things where it's like, we practice together, so you gotta do some stuff different. So I just went pure men-at-arms first. Like, I was massing men-at-arms. And my whole plan was to just completely overwhelm him. And then when he goes crossbows, when he like goes javelin crossbow, to go into horsemen. So that's why now, because I have sufficient amount of men-at-arms, we trade, then he sees, oh fuck, he's going men-at-arms. He goes crossbow plus javelins, and then I go cavalry, right? But yeah, I prepared the drafts quite a bit, and I think most of the drafts I did pretty well. So here we're fighting, but the unit comp that he has is like completely wrong. He has mass javelin Limitanei. And at some point, oh yeah, I was harassing, I forgot to show, but I was harassing and I saw he has no farms. So I was like, oh, he's pretty committed to this. So I got a mango out. And another thing that I adjusted against Vortix specifically is our games in practice were like super aggressive. Like we, sometimes we would play 5 games in like hour and 10, hour and 20 minutes because the games would go so fast. So in this series, I decided to play aggro initially, but then just stay passive in the mid game and let him overcommit because he loves attacking. So I just played it like pretty passive with harassment on the side. Like I killed 9 workers this game, so even though he's been the one attacking me, I actually killed a lot more than he did. I got the boar here. Now we go around with the 2 knights. And now I'm transitioning to a lot of horsemen. But I have 34 man-at-arms, by the way. He has 10 crossbows. Like, that's not enough. I killed 2 workers here. Killed 2 more here. So, this game, because I'm killing workers, I was like, I don't need to move out at all. You know, I can just sit home and do nothing. But this army, I mean, look at the army value. Now, I think mercenaries are not, like, counted properly, but my army is just way better. Like, it's not even comparable. Like, I can probably, unironically, just kill him with, like, man-at-arm crossbow, but then I also have 21 horsemen. So here, I mean, his army looks massive, but I actually saw it beforehand, and I selected. I was like, okay, I should be able to win that. So he tries to kill that mangonel, but I move around my units, do some target firing on the units. I save both, and the front line is getting butchered by man-at-arm horsemen, and yeah, the fight becomes pretty one-sided. The horsemen come in, and they do a shit ton of damage against javelins. And yeah, they just get butchered. So that was game number 2. So again, it was kind of worrying for a moment there. But I do think that, like, Baldland Byzantine is okay, but I think it's so hard to deny pro scouting. Like, I think if this was, like, Dry Arabia, I think I would struggle a lot more. Or, like, Gorge, I think Byzantine is a lot better. On that map, I'm not so sure. It's just too big. Because even though he denied my pro scouting, I actually did manage to get pro scouting done over time. Like, even at the end there, I was still pro scouting with, like, 2 scouts. So I was still getting in the food. Are civ counters not that strong in this meta? No, I'm trying to think what is, like, the hard, if there are hard counters. I don't think there are hard counters. I think a lot of the matchups are, especially between the top civs, are very even. I mean, if you look at the tier list I made, I have 10 civs in S and A tier. And those are the most playable civs. So I would say it's pretty even. It's just what you prefer. The maps influence more than the civ matchups themselves. Now, this is an interesting one. So basically what happened is this. Okay, so I won on Dry Arabia. I won on Baldland. Now, in a best of 7, after the 4th game, you redraft. Okay, you do a new draft. So after 4th game. So basically, I won with Roose. I won with Mali. He lost with Byzantine. He lost with Delhi. So we have 2 more games to play before we redraft the civs. So I have these 4 civs. He has China, Ayubid, Mongol, and JD. Okay, he picked Gorge, which means he wants to play a pro scout civ, which is either JD or China, right? So I was like, okay, well, he's down 2-0, so most likely China. So I had 2 dead civs. So this is the interesting part. I had 2 dead civs. When I say dead, I mean they're pretty bad in this current meta and stuff, right? I don't play these at all. My plan was to have Japanese and OTD for the water maps. So if I lose a game, I just pick a water map and he's screwed because I have better water civs. I have Japanese and OTD, which are the best on these 2 maps. Because this was a 3rd game, I was like, okay, well, I have to save Japanese for the water map as a 4th game. So I can either play OTD, Abbasid, or English against China. And I'm like, yeah. English and Abbasid, they're not going to win against China. China, even before the pro scouting meta, was shitting on English, okay? Abbasid versus China, maybe if someone, like, more passive, I could maybe see myself playing Abbasid, but playing Abbasid on Gorge is pretty bad. So I was like, okay, let's just play OTD, because I didn't practice OTD on land maps at all in my practice games. Like, 0. It's not like I was hiding it. I just practiced OTD on water maps. So I was like, okay, he's not going to expect OTD at all. And I don't know how much he has practiced against OTD on land maps, because most people play it on water. So I was like, let's just play OTD. And I'm just going to count this as a loss. And then 4th game, I pick a water map and I pick Japanese. And I have an advantage, so that should be a 3-1. Like, that was my... That was my plan. Like, I lose this one, I pick a water map, I win with Japanese. And then we redraft. So here, I go, okay, you know what? I should actually open barracks, which is also a thing I don't do. Like, this is all in the moment thing. So I was like, I should open barracks and block his gold. And I don't practice this, like, cheesy barracks opening at all. I just did this stuff on the ladder. And then, disaster. For him. And I was like, oh boy. Like, see, this is like a mindfuck thing in a tournament. You're down 2-0, and then you lose a villager in Dark Age. Like, that's bad for your mental. That's bad. So right now, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, we can, okay. You know, maybe something can happen here. Maybe we're cooking. Now, I want to say something, and I want you to pay attention. Against Anatan and Marine Lord, I got a lot of sheep, but I'll show you why after. And it's specifically with Gorge that they didn't know. Okay, I'm assuming they didn't know because I got all the sheep because they're baboons. And then on King of the Hill, I got all the sheep because they're baboons. But look at this game. I got 11 sheep. Vortix got 9 sheep. Pretty even, right? No shenanigans. Pretty even sheep count. Actually, he has another sheep here, so there's his sheep. There's probably one more. Yeah. So see that? I got 11. He's got 9, and he's got 2 more. So it's very even. Very even. But when we do the Anatan and Marine Lord series, they're gonna learn something new. So that wasn't RNG luck. The fact that I got more sheep than both of them was not like RNG luck. It's them, in my opinion, playing it bad, and you'll see why. 20-2? Yeah, well, you'll see why. So here I destroyed a mining camp, which is also pretty big, by the way, and his gold was giga far away. I mean, my gold was giga far away. EGC Gorge has, I don't know if this is on purpose, but the gold and the stone, look how far away it is. Look at that. Both of them. For him too. I don't know if that's intended, but I killed a mining camp, and even the house is not in range of the TC. So, I'm just torching. Now, what is the problem here? He only got 113 gold, which means when he ends up with Imperial Academy, he did not have gold for IO, which is a big deal. Big deal. So now he has to wait for the archer to come out, unsupervised, then push this back, then mine gold, then make an IO, and then go for pro scouts. Like, for those that don't know, China and Jushi get pro scouting the fastest out of any civ, by far. And you'll see what the situation in this game was because of my opener. So now he's trying to rush gold to get pro scouting. I start my pro scouting. Look, my pro scouting is nearing completion. His has not even started because of the opening. Like, this is... He is already very far behind, by the way. Like, this is not what the game is supposed to look like. I'm not supposed to have pro scouting first. Now, Chapel with OTD, in my opinion, is pretty bad. I don't think the mine work for OTD is really good either, to be fair. But... yeah, Chapel is not that good for OTD. That's all I'm saying. It's good on some maps. But, So I just went with mine work. I was like, fuck it. So now I'm pro scouting, he's pro scouting, let's speed it up. Making a little tower. I'm making some units because I want to do a little fighting if possible. I got a little man-at-arm right here. And I think in the end I take like 2 or 3 deer from him as well. And I go burger. Now, pro tip. Never go cathedral on OTD. Never. Never. Burger's way better. It's way better. Also, another tip. Always get your upgrades in the barracks. Don't get it in Burgrave. Why? Burgrave units are discounted, okay? And they're faster to make. Look. Did you guys know you can hotkey buildings in replays? So, Spearman takes 13 seconds, 18 seconds. 20 seconds, 27 seconds, okay? And they're cheaper, okay? So they're cheaper too. Now, what's important is the upgrades are also, what's it called? Faster to research, but they are not cheaper. They're not cheaper. So, if you actually research it in Burger, you lose resources because you could have been making cheaper units. Okay? So never research these upgrades in Burger. Always try to have it active, like a TC. Always make something, make anything. Every time a unit comes out, you saved resources with OTD. Okay? Look at this, men at arm, 130, 26. It's 240 here in a normal barrack. So as long as you're producing out of this, you're getting value. Okay? So I'm just printing units here. And you'll see here, veteran upgrade, queued up in here. So now, I don't know if I needed to kill that one, but I did. So now we're fighting over relics a little bit. I think I got 2? Or maybe I got 3? I actually don't remember. I think I got 3. So we're fighting, but you can look, the unit count is actually looking pretty severe right now. The difference is a bit crazy already. Look at this. So now we're fighting, and I still think, by the way, from both OTD and the opponent side, it is so hard to judge if you're gonna win the fight or no. Like, for me, it's still very hard. I don't know if it's lack of... Maybe I need to play more with and against OTD, but when I looked at this fight in game, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I should take that. Now I look at it, I'm like, yeah, obviously I should take it. I'll fucking destroy his army, right? But sometimes it's hard to judge, and you can see that Vortix went for the fight there. It was definitely not the fight that you want. So I get some good trades. I kill a couple of Lancers. I end up taking, I think I took 3 relics in the end. So feeling pretty good. I still got some food under the town center. He is out. He's out of food. And part of this is like, OTD is like JD. You know, like you produce units cheaper from the burger. So you actually save a lot of food and you run out of food slower than your opponent will because of it. So I'm getting some emplacements, and I remember thinking like, oh, I was kind of counting this as a loss because I haven't practiced OTD in land, especially not against like a China civ. So I was like, okay, this is actually going pretty well. So I was like, I can actually win. And then I had a scout and I saw his granaries. And that's big because now you know where he is. Now you know where he is, where the farms are. Did you experiment with Military Academy? Yes, so if you look here, I got Military Academy already. So that's a good thing to bring up. Thank you for bringing it up. I get Military Academy very fast with OTD because it increases your military production speed by, is it 25%? But it works on burger. So now the spearmen take 10 seconds, 2 seconds less to make. Or 3 seconds? How much was it? 12 or 13? So you save even more resources. Okay? Oh, it's 33%. Okay. So, yeah. So you save even more resources by getting the Military Academy, and also because you have mine work, it's cheaper. So, yeah. It's pretty nice. So I saw his granaries, and I immediately went for it, because my farm transition is nowhere near completing. Like, I'm still on the outside food sources. So I was like, I'm gonna try to push that. And this was a really bad fight for me. So I have, what's it called? I have Inspired Warriors here, but he has Mass Zuginu, which I have like nothing good against it. Like I have Crossbow Spearman, which gets destroyed by Zuginu. So now I'm trying to transition into Men-at-Arm and Archers so that I can counter Zuginu, because that's his whole army. I'm still taking okay trades, but I mean, I lost that fight, right? Like, I'm just getting the Spearman butchered, which is obviously not ideal. And Inspired Warriors is actually great against Archers or against Zuginu because they give you 1 armor. You get 15% damage, and you get 1 armor. So 15% damage on crossbows is insane. Look how fast the horsemen die. Like, OTD crossbows are insane. insane. They like kill everything. They don't give a shit. They just kill everything. So he wins this fight really by a large margin. But because I had so many units, it kind of becomes an even trade. But it should not have been an even trade. I should have won that pretty convincingly. So then I captured the sacred sites. Like, this game I didn't make any walls because my map control was really good. Like, if you look right now, I'll show you in a second. Like, when my tower's complete, it's like I see everything. Like, where's he gonna go? I have a sprinkle tower here with emplacement. That shit hits like all the way. I have a sprinkle tower here with emplacement, or with a relic, sorry, and here. So my vision is like really good. So instead of wasting wood to wall, I just, you know, looked at the minimap. I know, it's great. It's revolutionary. So now his unit comp is a lot of Zugunu. A lot of Zugunu. So I started mixing land shits and men-at-arms. So these men-at-arms are gonna tank a shitload, right? And I'm making archers. I don't know if I have the upgrade already. Yeah, I have archers with dragon scale armor. Is that what it's called? Which makes the archers have 5 ranged armor. So here, again, this looks like an even fight, but my army is way stronger, okay? Way stronger. So we go in, look at this land shit. Did you see that? That land shit just hit and damaged all these units, and they're now having the bleed effect, which they take 20 damage extra, I think, over 10 seconds. Look at this land shit. This guy just did like 1,000 damage there. He runs into my crossbows, but crossbows actually do so much damage. My spearmen are butchering the horsemen. And now, the prelates are tanking a lot. So, they're tanking, they're healing, they're cooking. And the men-at-arms, look how much they're tanking too. He has some crossbows though, but, you know, it is what it is. And I felt, okay, that was a pretty good fight. He goes in for the push again. And now the archers, like I have 12 archers, and now, you know, I can focus fire the Zugin and stuff, so it's looking pretty good. The healing arrives, which is really nice after these kinds of fights, especially with OTD units, just to heal up everything. And now we go towards the food once again. And here, if you look, I'm transitioning to farm slowly. I got a bull right there. And his army is out of position, but he also does not have enough farming. So, whenever you fight against like China or Jushi, even if you're taking an even fight, listen to this is very important. Even if you trade out evenly, because you're in their farms, you will trade a lot better, because you stop their production. So, let's say this army was 100 versus 100. If you trade and you both end up 20-20 and you stop this production, that means that the next fight is going to be 80 versus 20 and you win the game, right? So if you get on top of the farms like this, it's usually GG. So you'll see right here, I get on top of the farms, it's all idle, and now his food income is just going to plummet. He has Nest of D's. Funny thing, Nest of Bees and Mango is actually pretty bad against OTD. Not pretty bad, they're good, but because your OTD units have so much health, you don't have as much impact. So here he's like hitting on the prelates, but the prelates are just fucking healing. And I got the improved healing, by the way. So the prelates are actually just tanking the Nest of Bee shots here, which was pretty funny. He lost 30 workers, and he's gonna call it. Boom! Now that was game number 3. Game number 4, okay, so this is the thing. So like I said earlier, I expected to lose this and then pick Japanese on a water map, because Japanese was my second pick, right? So I thought, okay, I'm gonna lose that, right? He's gonna win with China, I lose with OTD, and then I have Japanese versus one of these 3 civs on like 4 lakes or lakeside, and he's fucked, so I win that. But because I won, now I was like in a weird spot. I mean, it's like a good weird spot, right? Now I'm 3-0 up, and obviously he's not gonna pick one of these two maps. He's gonna pick Cliffside or Himayama. So he ends up picking Cliffside, and I have the option of English, Abbasid, or Japanese. And I was just like... So I was actually thinking, like, do I try to cheese him with something? But I was like, what do I even cheese him with? Yeah. Now, you might think that English from Cliffside is good. It's not. It sucks. I knew he's gonna pro scout even with Ayubid, and I mean, maybe. So what I tried is to do like super early farms, and then to deny pro scouting and do extended feud, like super extended feudal, where he runs out of food. That's kind of what I like tried. It didn't work. Explain to use berries for upgrade, not burger. Does that go the same for H3? No, because H3 burger is different. H3 burger has no discounts. It just produces faster. So you can, it's actually better to do upgrades on burger if you need them quickly. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was like, yeah, this game I'm losing 1,000,000%. Like, I'm not winning this. Like, Vortix is very good in feudal, and I cannot play English with dog shit economy and somehow win. So I was like, okay, I'm dead. I was thinking about doing 2TC. Then I was like, nah. Especially with Cliffside, like I'm gonna die. So I was like, okay, let's just go aggro and hope he has like a bad spawn or something. You know, maybe. I don't know. But he had back woodline, and then he had this back fucking gold, which was literally ruined the game. He had the first gold forward, but I can't do anything on the first gold because it's like, you know, he has a horseman coming out already. So I just go back because I knew horseman is probably in the production soon. But this back gold screwed me so hard. And also he had deer in the back, deer very close to his base here. And then my one deer was in a good spot, so he can't take it. But the other one was so far away from my base, it's like, yeah. So I was like, alright, it is what it is. So I'm just making units. We do a couple of engagements throughout the game. But if you look, like, even if I just pause, like, let me just pause. Look. Right? Nothing happened. Right? He's already ahead. That's why English sucks. Like, look at this. Nothing happened. You know why? Because of Eco Wing. But the thing is, every civ has something with Eco that's going to boost their Eco and fuel. English doesn't. So, yeah, like, he's 4 workers ahead. Or should be 3, but I don't know. Wait, how's he 4 workers ahead? Maybe I skipped a villager. I'm shit. There's no way I skipped the full villager. I don't know. Either way, like, he's already ahead, and it's like he's having 100 to 200 extra income per minute since like 4th minute, you know. So it's like, yeah, obviously he's gonna have more units, and on top of that he's on deer, so that's even higher income per. I mean, look at the income already. Look at this. 700, 500, 600, 500. Like, he is already like 300 resources per minute ahead. You know what I mean? That's the problem with English. It's like, it has amazing units, but the economy is so dog shit. It's like, you can't keep up. Now, I feel like, to be fair, I feel like I could have won this game if I played better, but with English, it's like, if you mess up once, like, that's it, you're dead. You know what I mean? It's like Byzantine, but worse. Byzantine, you know? It's like, you're infantry civ, and if you mess up once, you're gonna have a pretty bad time. And because he has horsemen, he's obviously going to be able to do a raiding, and I can't raid anywhere, right? So look, 3 villagers killed with horsemen. So it's like, okay, now I'm even further behind. And he doesn't have to do anything. You just sit there. You know what I mean? You just sit there. Because he knows he's ahead. And the problem is, I have to push, right? Because he has gold in the back, and I don't know if he's aging up or not. So I have to push into him. He knows he needs to just sit back. And because of that, he can raid me. So it's just like such a shit situation to be in. And here, he pushes in. We trade out. And I felt like this was a really good trade for me initially. And then I was like, okay, never mind. I'm kind of dead. And now, the English count has been reset. So I feel like in that first fight, he microed better than I did. I'm trying to deny pro scouting, but he already got everything. So now, again, it's like, I don't know if he's aging up. If he is, I'm dead. If he's not aging up, and I push, I'm dead. So... Can you explain why do you think Pro Scout meta got so strong now? What happened? Well, a patch happened that buffed them. A lot of things got nerfed. Horsemen got buffed. You know, cavalry-based styles got buffed. Walls got nerfed. Pro Scouts got easier to use. All of those things changed. So now he ages up. And my only chance is to do a push, like, right now. And try to end things. I should have probably just YOLO committed. I should have probably just chased, but... I mean, you know, it's hard. It's like, if you do it and then you end up getting, like, losing everything, then it's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But if you do it and it's hard to say. So here he engages. He has the archers upgraded. And I don't have enough spearmen. Like, I had 8 spearmen, I think, at the start of that fight. Because I was making men-at-arms. And if he stayed in feudal, that would have been a great choice. But because he aged up, the men-at-arms were pretty useless, actually. And now, it's gonna be a lot of micring. Like, a lot of micring between him and me here. The problem is, now English, like, English early feudal is terrible, but later on, it becomes so nice to play. And you'll see it in this game, he has castle units, right? Castle upgrades, castle units, and I was defending for so long in my base. And I was trying to age up, by the way, and I just didn't have enough food income. Which was pretty funny, because I had to produce units still. I can't stop making units. And I was thinking, like, do I go White Tower here? Because I felt like if I go White Tower, I survive, but I lose the game. But if I go King's Palace, and I don't die, then I'll be ahead. You know? So I started aging up, he's pushing in. And the problem is, I have no food income right now, because he's idling my economy. So he's just going in. I upgraded my longbows, but then, yeah, it was close. Did I lose intentionally against Marinler and Louis to not reveal your strats? That makes no sense. If you go to loser's bracket, you play more games, not less. You know that, right? Like, if you drop down to loser's bracket, I think you have to play 2 more series overall. If I'm not mistaken, so you actually show way more strats. And now he gets Manjanique, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm dead. I had nothing against it, and all my houses get fucking butchered. So in the end, oh, it just ended. Okay. In the end, I lose that game, but like I said, I did not expect to win that one, so I was like, okay, because I didn't expect the draft to go that way. And then we did the redraft, and okay, so in the redraft, the maps we had were Himayama, Four Lakes, and Lakeside. Oh yeah, and I think he made a big mistake here because he first picks Roose for Himayama, right? Which is fine. Like, Roose is very strong. But I first pick Japanese. He vetoes OTD. I veto OTD. And I pick Ayubid. So with Japanese, Ayubid, OTD, and HRE gone, he has no good civs to play on these two maps, in my opinion. Like, he's out of civs. So I knew that even if I, like, lose one of the... Like, let's say I lose Himayama, then I'll have a pretty big advantage on the water maps. Why not China? China is also good, but people haven't practiced China on water maps because it was just played on land maps. So I knew that he didn't practice it. No one did. Okay, so because in AoE4 tournaments, it's not only about playing the best civs on like, it's not about playing... Like, okay, you guys know Moving Out? You guys know that map? Do you know what the best two civs are on that map? The best. By far, it's not even close. You know which ones they are. It's the two civs you never saw played on that map. It's China and Jushi. And you haven't seen it once, I guarantee you. I don't know if anyone played it in the tournament. Do you know why? It's because you cannot play the best civs on every map. You have to split them. You have to draft, right? Well, Jushi is banned, first of all, but China was open quite a lot, and nobody picked the Moving Out. The reason for that is, okay, let me paint it for you, okay? This is the reason. China on land is like a 9, right? China on Moving Out is 10. And you might be like, oh, but it's the best in Moving Out. Yes, but if you compare it to other civs on land maps, the other civs would be like 7s. But other civs on Moving Out would be like also 7 or 8. But the civs, these 7s and 8s, are not played on these maps. Do you know what I mean? So, because you have to make a draft system, would you rather play China on a map where you can play two irrelevant civs? Like, I mean, not irrelevant, but like you can play Ottoman, you can play... I have actually a secret pick for Moving Out, but I'm going to keep it. I have a super secret pick. No one's played it. No one's played it. It's good, okay? It's good. It's not Laxit, it's land. Come on. There we go. So you would rather play civs that don't have high pick prio here, so you can high pick prio China to play it here. Does that make sense? Because also the land maps are more important. The hybrid maps are like, you can get away with playing some weaker civs. No, it's not JD, but I cannot speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. I don't know if KP Weeklies have Moving Out, but the first time I play KP Weekly, if Moving Out is in, I'm going to use it. It's crazy good. It's crazy good. No, Ottoman? No, Ottoman sucks on a map, man. I don't know why people play it. Yeah, OTD on Moving Out is great. OTD on Moving Out is great. Okay, so anyway. Game number 5. It was Japanese versus French. Now, in his draft, he could have either played JD or French. And I kind of, like, knew that. Like, he's not going to play Mongol here or Rus. So I picked Japanese, and in my opinion, this is a very good matchup for Japanese. The reason for that is, all the strengths of French kind of don't exist against Japanese on this map, okay? Why? Because you get cheaper boats. It's like, okay, cool. You get cheaper boats, but we're not gonna fight on water full on. I can arrow slit my dock as well. Next thing is his worker production being faster. I can just put Yorishiro in my TC later and catch up with villagers. I'm gonna age up first, so I'm gonna take the relics and map control. I have 3 farms, which means I'm gonna have better food. So I feel like there's not much going for French in this specific matchup. Now,
Congratulations, Mr. Cutie Apatootie, with the winnings.
I want to say something about this tower. Because I got a couple of people asking me, like, why the fuck did I make this tower like this? Because you make tower, like, here or here. Well, I showed Vortix something in practice. Or I think I showed it to him first. Which he later used against Puppy Paw. You know what that is? It was on this map. It was JD, when he played JD against Puppy Paw, he went and tower rushed Puppy Paw's gold, and Puppy Paw did not know, and he made a tower here. And Vortix made a tower there, blocked his gold, and the game was over. And it was JD versus Japanese. The way to counter that is either you make 2 towers, or you make a tower here, and you can't tower it anymore. Because French has knights. So if he sends the first knight and the villager, I can't block it with anything unless I have units or if I have tower. But if I start making units, then we're entering feudal fighting and I lose. That's why you make this tower. So this tower completely blocked that. Like, you can't tower it anymore. And now I'm chilling. So here he committed to fighting on water. I'm getting arrow slits, so I don't really want to contest water. Like, I don't really want to fight. I'm just trying to delay him as much as I can. I'm investing some resources, you know, into it. This was so fucking annoying. Look at this. It barely survived. I'm just trying to make him invest, like, a lot of resources into killing me on water. I don't really want to, like, contest, or I don't really care about, like, holding or whatever. But, yeah. So he actually killed 2 fishing ships, and I lost a villager here, but he lost a knight for it, so I'm fine with that. And he did pro scouting here, which is nice. Eventually, I age up first, which, like I said, is expected because of Japanese. And my age up is basically complete, and it's going Royal Institute. I see this with my scout. I saw the Royal Institute, so I was like, okay, well, he is committing. I actually think Guildhall would be better because Red Palace on Sacred Sites is really good. But he goes for the Royal Institute, and I was like, okay, he's gonna commit. So I go for Onimusha. Now this is the interesting thing. If I go Mounted Samurai into his knights, I actually still win that until he gets royal bloodlines, right? But if you go Onimusha, you completely block the knights, right? Because now I can just take the full map control. So Onimusha's come out. Look at that. Look how much damage they're doing. Boom. And I can kill the scouts very, very easily. And he goes back. Now, there are 2 ways to counter this. To counter what I'm doing. And this is something that I've seen a lot of people like be confused with why Vortix did what he did. So there's 2 ways to counter this. One is go for Horseman Crossbow, which is probably better, in my opinion. Horseman Crossbow. Or you go for Knight Archer. Now, the idea with Knight Archer is you can make a mass of archers to kill Onimushas, and then Knights will kill everything else. Doesn't matter what it is, because they're Royal Bloodline Knights. But because he went Royal Institute, Royal Bloodline Horsemen are not very good, right? So you can deal with it two ways, either archer knight or horseman crossbow. Now the problem with so archer knight is like very it's a lot more DPS than crossbow horseman. Crossbow horseman is a lot more tanky. The problem is, even if you go crossbow horseman, if I go horseman on a Musha, then I can just run around the map and kill his stuff. And he is still stuck with crossbows that are slow infantry. So that's why I feel like there's no good choice here. Like a lot of people are, oh, if he went horseman crossbow, it would have been so much better. It's like, if you went horseman crossbow, I would not make mounted samurai fucking on a Musha, you know? That's kind of obvious, right? Because I see these types of like comments so many times where it's like, oh my god, like Beasty is making samurai on a Musha, why is he not making horseman? Horseman crossbow. If he made horseman crossbow, I wouldn't make fucking mounted samurai. I would go like spearman or something, right? And if I go mass spearman with Onimusha or just mass spearman, then what is he gonna do? Right? So I just think that Japanese can just produce so many more units. It's always gonna be hard for civ like French. Like, okay, this was a pretty bad fight I took. I actually thought I would win that fight, but somehow I don't know what the fuck happened. So I was like, oh, okay, that did not work out. Oops. I kept denying his pro scouts. I'm getting towers. I'm going for the sacred sites. Towers already completed. And see, this is the problem with infantry on this map, right? It's like you're just immobile. And I can also just wait for him to run out of gold.
Congrats, champ. The destruction was amazing to watch.
Thank you, brother. I can just wait for him to go on the gold and then kill him there, right? So I don't actually have to move at this point. And I have more mobile army. So right now, I am transitioning to mass horsemen. And I got Onimushas because horsemen are gonna kill archers a lot better. So, and Onimushas are gonna kill all the knights. So Royal Bloodlines is getting completed. And yeah, I'm gonna catch up with the subs as soon as we finish this game. Thank you so much. So we do a fight, but there's a Springle Tower, and he has to fight because if he waits, I'm just gonna have more and more Springle Towers, and he's gonna be in a pretty bad spot. So he commits. The horsemen are chasing down the archers, and like I said, this unit comp is pretty hard to deal with, in my opinion. Onimusha, whatever, cavalry, and he calls it. And I think it was also nearing being out of food as well. Or out of deer, but then you go bears, I guess, but it's not as good. So in the end, the game ends, and that was the loser bracket semifinals, where I have defeated Vortix 4-1. And the next match we'll be covering is going to be Cutie Patootie versus Anna Chad, the GOAT. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, brother. If you're watching on Twitch, let's keep going.